Hey, I'm Alex from Sombul, and today we're interviewing Slowe, aka Sophie Hawes. So how are you doing, Sophie? You all right?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, how are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Been up to much today?
Just my day job.
Yeah, oh nice, fair enough. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to just chat a little bit about Slowe and what your kind of plans are, I guess, going forward. I heard your song on the radio for the first time randomly. I was just driving in Bristol in my car and it came on. I was like, I really dig this. So I thought I'd contact you and get you on for an interview. So, yeah,
Thank you.
that's cool. Tell me about yourself. Like, where did the name Slowe come from? And yeah.
So it's hard to actually remember where Slowe came from. I've been trying to think of a good name for a few years, a stage name. And when you're trying to think of a bad name or anything, everything just sounds rubbish.
Yeah.
And then actually I hit on Slowe with an E to make it, not just a normal word. And that was the first one that really stuck with me. And then I realized actually all the letters are in my name, which is pretty cool. It actually does kind of match up. And it also kind of does describe my kind of vibe, I suppose, of the music that I'm making at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of a mixture of all of those.
Awesome. That's cool. So obviously you've already released Wouldn't You Like to Know? That's your first release, isn't it?
Yeah, first
That's
ever.
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And like, obviously you've had like a bit of success with that. It's been played on Radio 1. Is that right?
Yeah.
And that's really cool. So what was it like hearing about on Radio 1?
Really, really insane. Like it kind of felt like it happened so fast. Like I uploaded my track to the uploader, and then the Bristol show liked it, and then they passed it on to Radio 1, and then they played it, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Yeah, because that's awesome. Radio station I've listened to, throughout my like childhood and stuff. So
yeah. That's a pretty big deal.
Really cool. Yeah, and just the other songs that they played on that show, I like saved most of them. They were all amazing. I was really it was a really good group to be in with on that show. I was really chuffed. Yeah.
Oh, that's wicked. Yeah, fair enough. Is it just for once you've been played on there, or do you know if you?
Just once, yeah. I think so.
Okay, cool. Oh, hopefully you'll get on again.
Fingers crossed.
Nice. So I actually know Lars, who produced the tune. I went to uni with him. So yeah, it's kind of cool. So I was just wondering like how you got involved with him.
Well, I met him at BIM as well. I was a few years younger. And I'd got all the parts recorded, and I'd done a bit of vocal production, but it just needed a bit of help, and I'd been listening to the song for too long to be able to even hear it properly anymore,
Yeah.
So, I've done music with Laurence before, so I messaged him and he was like, yeah, come over, we'll work on it. So we actually spent 2 days kind of going through the production together and mixing it at the same time, and he added the keyboards as well, and
awesome.
Just the kind of the shininess to it, he helped me out. So that's really invaluable, definitely.
That's cool. I was just listening to it actually with headphones for the first time, and it's there's some really cool production elements, like in terms of backing vocals and stuff. It's really cool. I think there was a backing vocal part which might have been his part, maybe, which was like a really breathy thing that was going on, which was really.
That was him, yeah.
Yeah, that was really. Yeah. I hadn't noticed that before. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was a fun.
Yeah, that's cool. So you went to BIM before?
Yeah, I did music industry management though.
Okay, cool.
I didn't do or a musician course. Yeah, so I did the kind of business course.
Awesome.
Graduated, I think 2 years ago, maybe 3.
Okay, cool.
Time runs away.
Totally. Was that in Bristol, I assume? Or?
Yeah, in Bristol.
Awesome. Wicked. Are you from Bristol?
I'm from Chepstow, which is just.
Oh, I know Chepstow, yeah.
So I've been coming to Bristol all my life, and I went to college here before uni, and then moved here for uni. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, honorary from Bristol, but not really.
Wicked. Awesome. That's sick. So what was I going to say? I can't remember now. It's completely gone. Complete mind blank. Hold on. Just going to go back to my notes. Oh yeah, no, I remember now. Sorry. So I was going to ask like what musical stuff you've done before, in terms of, have you played in bands, have you released originals music with other projects before?
Yeah, so I started out with music kind of when I was like 15 or 16, just kind of playing on my acoustic guitar and writing little songs and playing little pub gigs and stuff. And then I really wanted to join a band, so I went to Access College in Bristol, and
Okay, yeah.
I formed a band there with some guys, and it was kind of like a noise rock band. It was much like heavier rock kind of thing, and we did that for a few years, but then we kind of all moved to different places and split off, and that's when I kind of got more into producing, trying to teaching myself how to do that. And then I realized I didn't really like performing that much.
Okay.
This is the direction I want to go now, so I was just basically trying to learn to produce myself, and eventually started then writing and singing over that as well.
That's
To like
awesome.
where we, yeah.
Fair enough. So what is it about like performance that you don't like?
It's weird because I never was like really into performing, but I used to enjoy it, and I wasn't really ever nervous and didn't really get stage fright until like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know, it just completely changed, and it just was a really scary concept now, and I haven't performed in like
Yeah.
3 years, and I
Okay.
felt lost my nerve a bit. Like, yeah, I can't imagine like performing again, but I definitely
Hmm.
need to practice that for sure.
Yeah,
But
totally.
that's why I'm going more into the production route rather than artist route, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
I'm releasing my stuff to hopefully work with other people rather than to like play shows or anything, if that makes sense.
Okay. That's cool. So I
Bit
can
of a
see
weird.
there's sorry, I can see there's sax behind you. So it's like you play sax and keys, do you? Or
Yeah, a little bit. I'm a bit of a
that's
master of none. Like, I can play a few instruments well enough, but I'm not like a virtuoso at anything. That's why I get people like
yeah.
Lauren to actually play the keyboards well for me, because I can't.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
can
fair enough.
play enough to write the song and get the basic stuff down. But if there's like a proper instrument part, I'll usually get a real instrumentalist to do it.
Okay,
To do
that's
it.
cool.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool though that you can kind of practice writing stuff on the instruments you play already and stuff. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I was going to ask how, I guess it's not really that applicable, but like how you'd been affected by COVID in terms of, obviously I know you just said you don't like performing, which maybe changes things a little bit, but like, normally you'd release a tune and you'd go out and you'd maybe tour or whatever. Had you had any plans to do anything or?
Well, it's weird actually, because I did feel a bit strange, like, is it silly to like release a song but not plan to do any gigs or anything, to just have it like kind of purely online? And then COVID happened, and I was like, well, that's actually perfect for this situation. Like, that's what everyone is doing.
Yeah.
Um, it's affected me in ways like I couldn't like have people over to record together. It all has to be done over the internet. I say that's
Yeah.
probably the way, but it's definitely made me think a bit more about how I can, if I'm not going to do shows, how I can do other things, like maybe live streams or just recorded live performances is a way around that, perhaps.
Totally.
It's made
Yeah. Yeah.
seeing what other people are doing has made me think about that a bit more, for sure.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Like the whole live stream thing, it's just completely changed everything I feel. And,
Yeah,
it's kind of, it feels like technology in such short amounts of time has just caught up so quickly in terms of like, a few months ago, you'd see some live streams and they were pretty basic and stuff. Now there's some really cool stuff happening with like loads of camera angles and
definitely.
cool venues. And
It's
yeah,
the new normal, isn't it? To be online.
yeah, no, it's
It's
awesome.
weird going to a real gig in
Yeah.
June.
Oh, that's going to be crazy. I can't wait. Yeah, that's cool. So do you reckon, yeah, when we are allowed to perform, do you think you'll actually try and overcome your kind of fear of live performance and try and make
Maybe.
gigs?
I'll never say never. I'll
Yeah,
never say never. But I definitely want to go more into, writing with other people and recording with other people rather than performing as Slowe, if that makes sense.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I'll never say never. Maybe.
Fair enough.
We'll start with a live stream and see how that goes.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, live stream. I've done one or two live streams, and they're pretty. I find them more terrifying, to be honest,
Really?
because
Yeah, maybe.
it's just the whole, like you don't know who's really watching you on Facebook or whatever. It could be like anyone, and it's just a bit.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of weird not having an audience to kind of react from as well. I guess it's kind of, I don't know, it's a bit weird.
Personal that's filmed, I suppose, because there's no
Yeah,
reaction thing.
totally. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, but yeah. So in terms of like collaboration, like who would be your dream person to collaborate with?
Oh, dream collaboration. Maybe Tyler the Creator, because
Okay.
he does really cool stuff production wise, or Q-Tip's one of my favorite producers as well. Yeah, maybe those two.
Awesome. That'd be really cool. So in like what sort of thing what would you see yourself doing with them? What sort of what
I don't know,
direction do you think it would take?
maybe I would do vocals for Tyler, Kali Uchis style, do like a lo-fi banger.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
yeah, I'd want Q-Tip to just like show me his sampling genius, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I'm just trying to get into sampling myself, and I'm just like, whoa, like, where do I start with it?
So
Who
fun.
knows? Yeah, no, that's cool. So yeah, like what's sort of got you into music initially, would you say?
I don't know. I've always been around music because my dad is really into music. He's a drummer. He's always been
Oh,
in
cool.
bands. And from quite a young age, I was doing like musical theatre for a while. So that's when I first started like singing. And then I was a teenager and that wasn't cool. So then it was more like, writing my own songs and wanting to be in a band. Just kind of, it's always been something I'd wanted to do, like
Yeah,
literally since school. That's why I was so determined to go to music college, and like that was the coolest thing.
totally.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just always been like what I wanted to do, like, basically.
Awesome. That's cool. So where do you see it like kind of going, like going forward?
Well, the dream would be to, have people hear what I'm releasing as Slowe, and then wanting to work together, and then hopefully producing for artists, making beats, doing top line and songwriting for people. That's kind of where I would want to be, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
That's the
Fair
dream
enough. Nice.
of everything.
Oh, sorry, you cut out very slightly then.
I just said like a bit of everything.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. It's kind of nice, like kind of modern day, but it's kind of accessible. I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, you can use technology to your advantage, and like especially with this COVID situation, how it's advanced so much to a point where you could almost find anyone and work, over the
Definitely,
internet with
yeah.
them and stuff. It's really cool.
You can like, work on doors at the same time, like via the
Yeah,
internet now. That blows my mind. I've never done it, but that blows my mind. Like,
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that's mad. So what would you say is the best advice you've ever been given as a musician? That's quite a big question, I know.
it is one of the most often advice I got in like college and uni, which you kind of roll your eyes at the time, like yeah, but actually is so true, is not taking rejections personally, I'd say. So that used to
Definitely,
be
yeah.
something I worried about when I was younger, like, oh, I don't think I could take it if someone like didn't like my song. And as I've got older, I've realized no, it's like it literally is nothing personal. Like music is so subjective. There'll be
Totally,
someone
yeah.
who does like the song for every person that doesn't. You've just got to find them. So I'd say, even though that's like the most common advice, isn't it? Have thick skin. It is important, I'd say.
Definitely, yeah. I think you're kind of by going through into this industry, you're kind of bound for that to happen almost. And yeah,
Definitely.
it's kind of an interesting one,
It's
I guess.
weird, like a weird combination of music, which is like people's like heart and soul and emotions, and then people's reactions to it is literally I like it or I don't like it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. Black or white.
on YouTube, and it's like, but actually it's just so subjective, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't really get how, you see some people and they're just like, oh, I don't really like music as a whole. It's like, what? Like, what? How does that make sense? Music is just everything.
I guarantee
Uh,
there's something you like.
yeah, it's beyond me. Yeah, crazy. So like, what would you think has been your biggest musical challenge today?
I'd say the actual step of releasing this first song, it's kind of been 5 years coming, saying, yeah,
Okay.
I'm working on music, I'm going to release something soon. 5 years later, I hadn't released anything, and this year kind of made me go, okay, I need to just do it now, or I'll regret it. So it was kind of a jump out of my comfort zone to do it. But once I'd kind of made my mind up, it was like, okay, it's got to happen now. It doesn't matter like what happens, but as long as it's out there, I'll feel pleased. So I'd say probably that's been the biggest challenge I've overcome so far.
Yeah, fair enough. How long had the song been like written for before you'd obviously collaborated with Lars? And
yeah, I think I wrote it in like July last year during the lockdown, or maybe it wasn't lockdown. Maybe, yeah, I'm not too sure. Around like, early summer last year, I first wrote it and first got like the drumming part and the bass part. And then it kind of slowly progressed. And then I contacted Laurence in like December, and that's when we finished it off.
Okay,
so it was about quite a long time in the making. But I'd had other, a build up of songs unfinished for so long, and it was finally time to do something.
Oh, cool. What's your like creative process in terms of writing then, would you say?
I'd say it's very much like production first. Like I start with the beat, like some drums and some chords, and I always pretty much start with the music. I never really start with the lyrics. And it kind of goes from there. Like what I don't know what kind of vibe I've come across in the song will inform what kind of melody and lyrics should go on top. But I'm very much a right on top of the music person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I know some people start with a melody and write around that, and that was like, that's crazy to me. I feel like I couldn't do that.
Yeah, but it's really interesting how people work so differently. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's crazy. So do you think, like, in terms of direction it will take now, are you going to stick with the kind of lo-fi thing, or are you going to try and change it up a bit, go a bit of a different way? Or
there's definitely a few different kind of things that will be on the eventual, hopefully, album. Not all kind of lo-fi and soul-y, but all kind of low key, I'd say. Like some of them may sound different sonically, but kind of subconsciously they're all kind of chilled and a bit low key. So I'd say that's the overall tone, but with differences in the songs as well, definitely. Totally. And I really want some different singers involved. That's one of my main goals for the album.
That'd be really cool. Just again, like you can kind of use the internet to your advantage there and try and work and find whoever really to that's really cool. So I was going to ask you like a few little questions about Bristol, in terms of like, I know you've not performed here a whole lot, but like, are there any venues in particular that you really like, even just to go to, or?
Well, I did perform quite a lot with my band for those few years, and our favourite was always the Louisiana. It always was our favourite day. But we also played some really fun gigs at the Thunderbolt, which is I don't know if you've ever played there.
I know Thunderbolt,
we always had like fun gigs there. But Louisiana was always like, oh, we're playing the Louisiana. That's
it's really exciting. I remember when I played there for the first time, I was so hyped. I was like, for me, it was like Muse played there, like, and I was like, no way, like.
It's like I used to think I'd love playing at the Fleece because it's got all the posters on the walls and some really big people have played there, but actually it always just feels like an empty room because it's quite big.
It's a big room for people, isn't it?
Some of the harder gigs was at the Fleece because it's hard to make it feel really busy when you're
Bluey's quite what's the word, it's just quite nice and comforting and close and
cozy,
no, I really like the Louis. The sound's really nice there as well. Like the stage sound there is probably one of the nicest sounding stages I've played. It's awesome. That's cool. So what in terms of when you played there, what band was that with? Was that your own originals music, or?
We were called Fires. I think we're still on Bandcamp maybe.
Okay,
we released
cool.
an EP. We just played quite a few gigs in and around Bristol and South Wales and around the area kind of thing.
Awesome.
For like 3 years, like during and after college. Which was really cool.
What sort of stuff was that?
It was like noise rock, kind of bluesy noise rock. Band of Skulls was a big influence
Okay, cool.
for us. Kind of, yeah, but with like female vocals on top, which made it a little bit different.
Yeah, that sounds sick. Fair enough. Wicked. So what do you think has been your best Bristol gig? Was that at the Louis, do you think?
You know what? My favorite gig that I've ever played was the first gig we did as a band, but we weren't a band yet. We were like doing it for a class assignment, and it was to do a tribute act, and we did Blondie.
Nice.
And it was at the Exchange, but it was really, really busy, and everyone was singing all the songs because obviously everyone knows all the Blondie songs. That was actually the best, most fun gig. But in terms of real serious gigs, yeah, probably one at the Louis, because that's a fun.
Fair enough. I love the Exchange. Was that upstairs or downstairs in there? Or?
Upstairs.
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
it was really fun.
Oh, I love the Exchange. It's great. Cool. So yeah, do you think there's any ways the Bristol music scene could be improved at all?
I'd say just making sure we can keep all of our venues is probably the most. It's hopefully not an improvement just yet because we've still got most of them.
Yeah.
But, you know, like the Fleece, almost, you know, they had trouble. They were going to be shut down because of the flats, weren't they? And it's really scary to think of all these places that we all have so many memories and played our first gigs there. I think that's what we need to really be careful of, definitely.
Yeah, I think arts and like especially music is such an important part of Bristol's like cultural image, I guess, and it's, you know, it'd be such like that can't happen. It can't become flats.
You like listed buildings.
Yeah,
culturally good.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. Who knows? I don't know. Fair enough. So yeah, I was going to ask, like, if you have any other passions other than music at all.
Definitely none as overriding as music. I love to cook. Like, I'd never cook professionally, but I pretty much cook every night, and I love it. Nice. It's like really therapeutic for me. So that's something I really enjoy. And then my other passion is probably my dog.
Oh, fair enough.
Got a little dog called Keto. Yeah, I love dogs.
That's cute. What sort of dog is it? Is it a he? Keto?
Is it he? He's a mixed breed. He's from Romania, so he's kind of very much a mongrel mixture of many things. But he looks like a small German Shepherd.
Oh, okay. Oh, cute.
Yeah.
I'm very jealous. I want the dog. One day.
Yeah, definitely.
Fair enough. So yeah, if you could open like a show for any artist, who would it be? I know you don't really like performing live, but
I did in my fantasy world. Maybe Erykah Badu. I've seen her play live a few times, and her shows are just so cool and amazing. And I feel like you'd have to put on a real kind of special show to open up for her. So maybe that's actually a bad choice because it's too much to live up to. Maybe I should pick that. Great. I know. Yeah, I will stick with that.
It's a tricky one because you don't want it to be like better than the person you're sporting.
But I don't think there's any chance, but yeah, we're safe there.
Erykah Badu, that's a good shout, to be fair. Awesome. So yeah, first anything you could change about the whole music industry, like not just Bristol, but just in general, what would that be? Do you think?
I think definitely at the moment, I've been reading about, you know, the Spotify thing going on in Parliament at the moment, and that is really making people think, you know, this is the new way that a lot of musicians work, is literally just off streaming and Spotify.
Yeah.
And if that can't let them earn a living, then, you know, that's crazy. Like that is the new CD. You need to find a way to make it, you know, workable for independent musicians, not just the big labels that get most of the money.
Yeah,
I'd say that's the main thing.
Yeah, it's such a tricky one because it's like so good for consumers of music, you know, because, you know, I have a premium Spotify, even though I like I'm dead set against everything they do, to be honest. But like, you know, it's like
it's my main discovery tool. Like,
yeah,
it knows me. It knows
yeah.
me.
It's kind of scary, you know. It's like all of you wouldn't get so many like avenues of influences if you weren't able to discover so much music at such like a good affordable price. But then like at the same time, the musicians who are on there are completely getting ripped off, and it's yeah, it's actually really interesting. I'm intrigued to see if and how they actually fix it, and
what the outcome could be.
yeah,
I mean, it's inevitable that they're going to have to just start charging the consumers a bit more than £10 a month.
yeah,
I mean, that's the only real way, isn't it?
totally, yeah.
We'll be happy with that. I mean, I know I would be. Like, if you think about if you had to buy all of the music you listen to on Spotify on a CD or a vinyl, how much money that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only spend £10 a month on Spotify. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. I do kind of miss buying CDs. I remember, like, I don't know if you're like a couple of years younger than me, maybe, I think, but like, do you remember going into like a Sainsburys and they'd have like the stacks of CD players and you just like choose which one you wanted? I miss those times so much, honestly. They're great.
Bought my first CD in Woolworths.
Oh, okay.
From the past.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Sorry.
Another blast from the past.
Yeah.
Woolworths.
Oh, nice. Yeah, old school. Yeah, they've not been going for a while. What was that first CD? Can you remember?
I think it was Kanye West, Graduation.
Nice. Yeah.
And then they wouldn't let me because I was too young. I had to go and get my dad to come and buy it.
Oh no.
Like parental guidance, and I was too young to be buying that CD.
I feel like not many people would have been ID'd for buying stuff in Woolworths. Like, I don't think they sold any like alcohol.
I know. I was obviously way too young.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Cool. I think that's like pretty much everything I wanted to cover. Is there anything like you wanted to add in or anything, or ask me, or I don't know?
I don't know. Well, tell me how you kind of got into wanting to do a blog. I suppose that would be good.
Okay, that's a cool question. So, it's essentially, well, basically, like my background is in like functions work and stuff. I do a lot of that sort of thing. I play in a few originals bands as well. But obviously, with being hit by COVID, I've not been able to gig. Like, a few of my projects have been put on hold, and I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to do with my life now, because I literally felt like I'd lost everything. So I decided to do a master's, go to uni and do a master's, and it's basically my big projects for that, essentially.
Amazing.
So yeah, I'm going to try and get a load of artists in and different people involved in the like Bristol music scene, essentially, and start creating a blog. And we've got like really big plans for the future. This is just to, I don't know, get a bit of attraction, I guess, and get some interesting people in. And it's kind of nice to try and make a bit more of a community, I think, and try and hopefully, you know, we'll upload this and we'll get a few people seeing this interview, and hopefully they'll check out your music, and fingers crossed.
That'd be great.
Yeah. But no, that's awesome. Yeah. Thanks so much for getting involved. That's awesome. I'm aware, you know, this is my first one, so I'm a little bit
No, it's been good.